I am so excited to present this match between our two blind players, Kenneth Namisato and Melchor Pizarro. This is the finals of knockout battle tournament for the blind. 8 players down to 2. This specific game is the game 2. Game 1, Kenneth Namisato grab it, took it. So one more game to get the title. So this is best of 3 or race to 2. Melchor had to win. So let's see if Melchor would be able to find a way to tie the score, stretch the match to game 3, sudden death, knockout. Let's see. But before that, let's go for the introduction. All right. So yeah, this is the live stream that I did on Facebook page. So if you want to check the games, the whole game, you can check the Facebook page Chesscology, or if you want to be part of the tournament, just send me a message. Let's go for it. White is Melchor, black Kenneth, d4, d5, knight f3, and bishop f5. Wow, this like after Kenneth moves like bishop f5. So Kenneth into war, into battle. No silent opening. Let's go for a more complex opening, bishop f5, c4, and e6. So according to Lich's database, this is queen pawn game, Zuckerford variation. So after of knight c3, h6. Ooh, it's like Kenneth is okay. Let's go for different dimension. Let's lost the game to no record game. I can see any record on this game. It's like novelty of heart of. It's a novelty move technically. So after of knight c3, you can find a lot of games here. So usually black could move knight c6, c6, knight f6, but Kenneth decided to go h6. Okay, let's go for an orthodox opening here. Bishop f4, bishop b4, a3, bishop takes knight, b pawn takes c3, knight f6, and e3. Of course, you have to give space for yourself, for your space, king side, queen side, especially center. You have to give space. The center here is if you're white, if you're black. So almost identical opening for both of them with bishop f4, bishop f5, knight f3, knight f6. The only difference here is the bishop and knight for the early exchange of the bishop and knight. Now, castling king side for black and c5. Ooh, wow. So, since Melchor had to win this specific game, it's like, let's go for c5. I want to squeeze you. I want to press you down. I want my bishop to travel. Going to c8, of course, not traveling, going to a6, but to cover the long diagonal from bishop f1 to bishop a6. c6, just stop there. I'm gonna give you a little bit of stoppage, red alert. Queen a4. Wow, it's like more space now for white here. As you can see, there's no queen on d1. It's like, ooh, the black knight, the white knight can play around. Knight e5, knight e4, sorry, attacking the c3, rook c1, defending the c3 pawn, knight d7, looking forward to jump on f6 and making your knight on e4 more powerful and cemented. However, white decided, okay, let's go for knight d2. I want to challenge. I want to neutralize your knight on e4. I don't want your knight. I don't want your knight d7 going on f6. I don't want that. So let's go for knight d2. In exchange of that is no castling for white. So knight takes knight, king takes knight, knight f6, targeting going again to e4. Let me use my other knight. If you are again, it's like, okay, gonna jump my knight. However, Melchor move f3, preventing any continuous knight jump or knight attack. f3, queen d7. However, the only pressure that black would face here is the bishop on f4 can cover the d6 square. It's like, just imagine the bishop on d6, the bishop on e5. It's like, wow, this bishop on f4 is like a king here. It's no longer bishop like a king. Can cover too many squares, giving pressure. Especially this is important square for the b file, the b8, which later on, if this bishop will be neutralized, the bishop on f5, the rook can enjoy the rook b1 going to b7. So let's see. Oh, there you go, bishop d3, neutralizing the bishop on f5 and b6. Like, okay, if you want to capture my bishop f5, that's okay. I gonna open my e file now. Just for example, bishop takes bishop, e takes f, and then rook e8. Okay, that's pretty fun. However, before you do that, let me do something. b6. Let me confuse you a little bit. I want you to decide. Are you going to bishop, opening the e file, or are you going to capture c takes b6? It's up to you. So the table, the decision table is on Melchor's here. b6, but white just refused any of those. Bishop d6, targeting the rook on f8. Rook e8, you have to move away and go to this e file, hoping that white would capture. Bishop takes f5 to open the e file, but g4. Wow. Ooh, it's like, oh, I have to win this game, this specific game. I will not go for exchanges. I will not help you to improve your position. I will attack you. I gotta go g4 and g4. Sooner h4 will come, and black is now forced to capture the bishop on d3, which I guess can move h7 to make sure that bishop on d3 will capture. So you have your knight takes h7, at least a silent. What? All right, bishop takes bishop, king takes d3, and b5. Black decided to close the position here, and because of that, white had a chance to break on h4, g5. Later on, let's see. After b5, of course, you have to move your queen first. Queen d1, a5, continuing the attack here. h4. It's like they don't mind whatever both parties are doing. You move b5, okay, I gonna move my queen. You move a5, I gonna move my h4. So let's see who gonna attack first. Is it my if you are Melchor thinking, I gonna attack you on the king side, and if you're Kenneth, I gonna attack you on the queen side. Let's see who got the first or who got the best attacking skills here. b4 for Kenneth, and just a4, making sure that no file will be open for black, because of course you cannot put your rook on b8. The bishop d6 is like, wow, this is like a gangster here. Wow, it's like, how can you stop the bishop from preventing you going to b8? You have to kill this bishop. You have to attack the bishop on d6. So after a4 knight, h7, looking for f6 or f5, queen d2, f6, there you go, f6, anticipating the g5 moves. Okay, I have so many. I have my h6, f6, knight, h7, guarding the g5 pawn, your possible push pawn. So just right there. Don't do anything. Don't do any silly things. King e2 and e5. It's like, come on. Why king e2? You should have moved king c2. Why king e2? I gonna go e5. I gonna break on the center. I will make sure the rook will hit your king. And king f2, you have to move away. B takes c3, queen takes c3, and e takes d4. What you gonna do? I captured your pawn here. Of course, in Melchor, just relax. I can capture with the pawn, I can capture with the queen, but I can capture, of course. Let me pick my queen. I have to make sure the queen is not black. I have to make sure that queen is powerful in the center. Queen takes d4. Queen d6, getting the e file. The only file that black could capture here, to grab here, to cover it, is the e file. Of course, the white can anytime go on b1, targeting this b file. This bishop is doing great defense and great attack at the same time, defending the rook b8 square, attacking any possible attempt. Rook hd1, e1 rather, knight f8, and now rook b1. Now is the time for white to cover the b file. Now is the time to maneuver the rook and to attack the b7 pawn. Of course, if you are white, 7th rank is the good place for your rook. If you are black, 2nd rank of the rook is the best place for your rook. So um, white has had a better chance here to cover the 7th rank. Bishop g3 first after knight g6, making sure, okay, this knight gonna capture the h4. Let's go for bishop g3. Just, okay, just relax, calm down. After bishop d3, I guess if you are black, ooh, there's no bishop on d6. I can't breathe, I can't, oh, there's so much air. Oh, like, you can do whatever you want now. There's no bishop on d6. Of course, you can still go on b7, but you can move rook e7. Rook a7, probably target going to b7. Your rook's like knight e7 and rook b7. Of course, that is the obvious plan of the white going on b7. But this knight e7 is a little bit surprising move. Hoping probably going f5. Let's just go back a little bit. Knight e7. I guess f5 is good to do here. Instead of moving knight e7, knight could have moved on e5 going to c4, at least giving pressure on e3. At the same time, of course, knight on the center is different story. But Kenneth decided to go back a little bit. Okay, let's go for knight e7, rook b7, and f5. That is the purpose of the knight e7. In case the white would capture the g takes f, there's a knight takes f5, attacking the bishop and the queen at the same time. Of course, if you are white, you will not do that. G5 is all right. Okay, just I will not capture you. Just g5 just continues my let me do my reason why I have my g4, the g5 move. H5 lacking like a dance here. All right, so after g5 h5, bishop e5. Wow, earlier the bishop on d6 giving you a little bit headache. Actually, that's not a little bit, that's definitely headache. And bishop e5 is another headache for black, because it is targeting the g7 with your rook on b7 with the queen on d4. It's like, ooh, wow, amazing square for the bishop. Queen g6, additional protection on g7, but still not easing the pain here. Oh, pain reliever. Okay, it's like black needs some pain reliever here. Rook e b1. I can see two rooks on the 7th rank. I can foresee it right now. F4. Okay. Just let me throw some cold water on the fire on board. Ooh, wow. F4 and just e4. Not committing, not engaging to any trades or exchange. E4. After rook e4, d takes e4, f takes e4, and rook a d8. Now is the time for black to get the open file, the e file, and this time the d file. What will you do? If you're white, bishop d6. What a crazy defensive and counter attack, making sure that the queen will not move away on d4. Bishop d6, just temporarily putting it, giving pressure once again. King h8, rook c7, rook b1 going to b7. Wow! So, okay, let me just tell the story. On this position, both of them, if I'm not mistaken, less than a minute. Meaning they are blind, they have customized board. If I'm not mistaken, this is called like a braille board. They are touching the boards, of course, before they move, making sure that they see things correctly, properly, before they announce the move. So less than a minute, they're thinking, using time, touching the boards, like pressure, because it's less than a minute. So that time control was 15 plus 10 seconds increment, but it's different when you are touching board. It will definitely take your time. especially in this kind of too complicated position. Wow, you have to craziness on the board. So after rook e7, black move knight d5. It's less than a minute. Can it throw another good move, like interesting move? What will you do here? Knight d5. What is your plan? What is your plan here? This is crazy. Knight d5. Throwing less than a minute. So if you gotta capture here, rook takes g7. What is the plan? Capture, capture. Wow, this is crazy. So knight d5 and bishop e5, putting too much pressure here on g7. But okay, hold on. Can you capture this one? Rook here. What will you do? And Kenneth just move knight f6. What a crazy move. And the game was ended because of flag down. Oh, imagine. Like um Melchor only got 30 seconds to have this position after of course 95, then 30 seconds more. Um Knight f6 down the going down 30 seconds, counting down, touching the boards, like thinking what the best solution, what's the best response for this knight f6 sacrifice move. Wow, craziness. So let's just go back a little bit. So what if the capture here? So after knight d5, what would happen if uh, e takes d5? There's a queen c2. There's a check. King f1, for example, and queen takes b1, and another. Wow, craziness. There would be, according to Leach, oh, it's 8 move checkmate, and queen king g2. There's a rook e2. And what else? Ooh, going here, capture, capture. So technically, that is a win for black. So pawn takes knight is not a good idea. What else? Mm, going here, rook cb7. After rook cb7, there's a knight e3 according to Lee engine, but that's one of the complicated. Of course, you have to defend this one. But let's go back. We will not analyze that long or further analysis. After bishop is that just knight f6. Game was ended. Bishop takes f6 just for example, and rook takes d4, and then bishop takes, and then too much of this, like okay, rook versus rook, queen versus bishop and rook. However, there's a queen takes e4. Black is winning. So crazy game for both blind players. Like wow, less than a minute. Just imagine, less than a minute. Kenneth was able to find this move. This just a little bit. Knight. Wow. Knight d5 and knight f6. Crazy, insane, impressive idea. Quick instinct of Kenneth, and because of that win, Melchor wasn't able to hold the good chance to attack Kenneth. And Kenneth declared champion for this season 1 of Knockout Battle Tournament for the Blind. So congratulations, Kenneth Namisato, for giving us a good game and good idea. Wow, that was impressive. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much. You may subscribe and hit the bell button. Of course, you may follow my Facebook page. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.